Hi folks, and welcome to today's video, which is an unboxing video. So 6 months ago I unboxed Robo Baby, the blue version, the boy version, and this dates back to 2001, so it's 23 years old now, but still works really well. And I did a follow-up video to show how far Elton, as I've called him, had developed, because this baby develops over time, and Elton had moved into the second stage and he demonstrated everything that he does in the second stage, including singing Pop Goes the Weasel and Twinkle Twinkle, but I've never heard him sing Mary Had a Little Lamb yet. So I was so enamoured with Elton that when I got the chance to buy the pink female version of Robo Baby, I jumped at it. And I also thought it would be interesting to see how it compares with the other Robo Baby that I've got, because I thought it would be interesting to have two at different stages of development and see how they differ side by side. And also with Elton, I found that he's got a tendency when he crawls to turn towards the left. I thought there might be a bit of variability between them, so I wanted to see if the crawling is any different in the one that I unboxed today, so I shall be comparing that as well. So without further ado, let's get this little female Robo Baby out the box and see what she's like. So I said she was pink, but she's actually pink and purple. So if you compare them side by side, whereas the boy's got blue hair, the girl's got pink. The bib is pink on the girl, where it's blue on the boy. Pattern on the girl's nappy is purple, whereas it's blue on the boys. And the colour on the Robo Baby's body and legs is purple, where it's blue on the boys. So lifting her up, I can tell she's not got batteries in, because the boy is quite a bit heavier. I've got my 3 Duracell ready here, so I'll pop the batteries in and see what she's like. These Robo Babies don't have an on-off switch. As soon as you put the batteries in, they start up. I was mistaken. It's not 3 AA's, it's 3 AAA's. Let's see if she wants some bottle. So I'll switch Elton on now. So Elton's crawling because he's in a second stage, but interestingly, the girl baby doesn't seem to cry as much as Elton has right from the beginning. Elton's cried a lot. Oh, maybe you just wanted picking up. Now, when I pat her head, she tends to make happy sounds, but Elton tends to cry. wasn't expecting any difference in character, but there definitely is. The boy cries so much more than the girl. So, Paul, here is the new edition.
I like the colour for the girl. That's nice. A nice set of colours, pink and purple. Yeah.
I think the colouring's nicer on the girl than it is on the boy. Well, there's more variation, isn't there? I like this sort of ruby colour.
I was just going to point that out. Yeah, is that the same on the boy? Is it sort of?
The boy's is blue. Everything's blue on the boy.
But are they like metallic colours, or is it just the way the light's catching it from here?
The body on the boy is more metallic, I would say, than on the girl. So I thought, it'd be interesting having them at 2 different stages and see how they compare. And I thought it would also be interesting when the girl starts to crawl, when she goes into the second stage, to see if there's any variation between the crawling.
Right. So the girl's right at the beginning
Yeah.
of her stages, and the boy's
when you change...
part way through, isn't he? Or at the end, I think, isn't he?
No, he's in the middle.
He's in the middle, is he?
Because when you put the batteries in, when you change the batteries, that resets them.
Right.
So I was thinking they'll be identical apart from that. But do you know, the girl's got a different character.
Is it?
At first I thought, just coincidence. But the longer it was on...
Well, it's no surprise, though, they've made it a different character, is it? I mean...
The boy cries much more than the girl.
And is that the case with babies, would you say?
I don't know.
You don't know. Asking you as a woman, I thought you might know more about that.
I know about as much as you. But I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
It was so apparent when I had them both on together that the boy cries much more than the girl.
But they would make it different because they would want to, at the time, they would have wanted to encourage people to buy both, and people would be more likely to buy both if there was some considerable difference between them.
Thing is, now though, there's been much more of a move that if you get a different, in sort of quotes, edition to add to your collection, that they're identical apart from the exterior. For instance, Zuru Aquarium is coming out shortly.
Now, I know they've all got the same voice, haven't they?
Which I was really annoyed about.
Disappointing.
Lots of collectors are. Because I heard this wonderful dolphin voice for the dolphin,
but
and then you find they've all got a dolphin voice, which is
silly when you've got a shark.
Yeah, when you've got a shark or a whale or whatever. And Zuzu Pets never used to be like that. They used to be all different in the sounds that they made. And these go back to 2001 and they've given it a different character. But I think that sort of detail, that sort of thoughtfulness seems to have gone out of toys.
Yeah, it's probably because the current trend in toys is to try and make them as cheap as possible to suit consumers' pockets in these tight times. So things get stripped out, don't they?
So I'll switch them both on so you can see them side by side. Now you noticed he crawled there and she didn't. That's because she's in the first stage and she's not crawling yet.
Okay.
So I'll try patting the head. Now patting the head is a way to keep Robo Baby happy, apparently, according to the instructions. So she makes a nice little noise. He cries.
Is that perhaps got more to do with him being in stage 2, though, or the mid-stages?
But he's always cried a lot.
Right.
If you look back at the video when I first got him, he was crying all the time.
Is the voice different?
I'm not sure, I didn't think about the voice. I'll just give him something to eat.
It is different. Yes. It is different, yeah. I'd say it's different. I don't know whether that's intentional or just variation between the model.
No, I think they've probably given them a different voice. He cries so much, the boy. I also find that the sensor for the bottle is picked up by the girl much easier than by the boy.
Is it magnet?
Yes.
Gosh, the boy does cry, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's always crying. She's got a much nicer personality. Yeah, I didn't notice that the voice was different as well.
They look good together.
I'm fascinated that they give them different characters.
I've always had a bit of a soft spot for these Robo babies.
Well, I must say I've got a bigger soft spot for the latest edition.
Yeah.
With it sort of having this sweeter character. What tune do you think that is, Paul?
I don't know, it's nice.
I haven't heard the other one sing that tune.
It's very much something from somebody's childhood, isn't it?
Might be Ring Around the Rosie.
Yeah.
Tears is Ring Around the Rosie. That's interesting because I never heard Elton sing that one.
Yeah. It's a different one for Elton, is it?
Well, it says in the instructions, in the first stage, in a good mood, they'll sing Ring Around the Rosie. But maybe Elton just was never in a good enough mood to sing Ring Around the Rosie. How she sang Mary Had a Little Lamb. And Elton never sang Mary Had a Little Lamb. So she's at the second stage as well. She's got happy eyes. Oh, she wants milk.
Are those the happy eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Got hearts now.
When you're holding it like that and it's singing, I love the twisty waist action. But that's what gives it the crawling action when you put it down on the floor, isn't it?
Yeah, she can crawl now. Look at those hearts. What a happy baby.
She really loves you, doesn't she?
And sang 2 songs that the boys never sang. Interestingly, Elton has sang Pop Goes the Weasel and Twinkle Twinkle, and she's not sung those songs yet.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? Maybe the girl sings different songs to the boy.
Well, do the instructions...
Doesn't say anything about...
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, isn't it?
She's singing Twinkle Twinkle. Right, that's answered our question.
So that's something that Elton sang, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only one that Elton sang that she hasn't sang is Pop Goes the Weasel. But she sang 2 extra ones, Ring Around the Rosie and Mary Had a Little Lamb. Isn't it interesting? The difference.
They're so helpless, aren't they? They're so pitiful, really. Got big heads. Very not able to do much at all. big sort of elastic pants on and nappy. Spindly arms and legs. Teeny weeny little bit of stylised hair. Big eyes as well. Little nose, yeah. They've got all the right features to evoke a bit of pity, haven't they?
That's the first time that this babby has sung Pop Goes the Weasel. So she's now sung all the songs that Elton ever has, plus an extra 2. I think Elton says mummy, whereas this one says mommy. So this one I got from ebay.com. So it's American, whereas the blue one I got from eBay UK. So that could account for them having a slightly different voice, not because one's a boy and one's a girl, but because one's from the UK and one's from the US. So this one, oh, she's crying. Ah, she needed a nappy changing. So, as well as this one being more sensitive, when you put the bottle close to the mouth, it also seems to be more sensitive to your voice. So, when I speak, it either crawls and plays a tune, or it will answer with words. Yes, but it seems overall more responsive. So, why do you think the sensors on it are more responsive? You know, the microphone and the reed sensor.
Natural variation, I'd say, between products.
Yes, as soon as I start speaking, there it goes. So, because Paul thought that perhaps the reason why Elton cries the most is because he's in a different stage, I've decided to put fresh batteries in him so that he's reset. And we'll see what he's like. That's interesting. He's sung Ring a Ring of Roses this time. Back to crying. Crying again. He still cries more. Actually, I'm starting to think that they prefer you to pat them on the head when you're holding them upright. Because when you look at the picture, they are actually holding the Robo baby upright. when they are patting the hair. Yes, it does seem to make them happier when they sit, sort of, when you're holding them upright and you pat the hair. So that might have been something that I was doing wrong before. It doesn't tell you in the instructions that you've got to hold them upright to pat them on the head, that they're not so happy about being patted when they're crawling along. And I've been looking at this biorhythm that I looked at in the previous video, and it's got these levels, level 1 to level 8, and then it's got level 5, home position. Robo Baby starts at this level when reset, and level 5, it's sort of 50-50, being happy and unhappy. And then as you go up levels 6, 7 and 8, you've got the Robo Baby being more happy and less sad. But then you've got levels 1 to 4 where the Robo Baby's gradually getting more unhappy. And it says the graphs shown below represent the biorhythm levels of Robo Baby. The amount of attention you give to Robo Baby affects her moods. When she cries, you have to guess what she needs and either feed her, change her nappy or rock her to sleep or pat her head. The way you care for your Robo Baby will determine how quickly she matures. I'm thinking perhaps I set Alton on the wrong sort of path because I wasn't picking Alton up enough, because he seemed to like to be picked up and held upright when you press the hair on the head. It doesn't tell you that in the instructions, but I think with a lot of these older toys, there was a sort of like discovery, sort of learning how the pet or the baby or whatever, how they tick. So I'm not so sure now, Paul, that they've got different characters. I think it's this biorhythm thing,
right,
that basically means how you interact with it will change its mood.
Yeah.
And I think because I might have been making some mistakes with Alton,
I see.
He's gone on this downward path where he's gone down the levels.
That's why he's crying a lot then.
And he's crying more over time.
So you've not been a good mother to him then?
No. So I've reset him, and he sang that song for the first time. Right. So... yeah, I think it's because I wasn't picking him up and I wasn't pressing his head while I was like holding him upright.
I don't think I've ever seen a toy with these biorhythms on before over time. They're quite interesting. And so there's some complexity there then. And
well, they did used to do that though with a few different toys in the past. It's like when they got microcontrollers in toys and sensors, when they first started using those, it was like, oh wow, this is gee whiz, what can we do with these? And
so they started implementing things like biorhythms.
Yeah, like a memory.
Characters sort of flowering and things like that, depending on how you interacted with them.
Yeah, because Furbies, I'm not so sure about the first Furbies, but the 2005-2006 Furbies, they remember how much they're being fed. In fact, I'm pretty sure, talking to other people, they said that it was the same with the original Furbies.
Right.
So that if you fed them, they won't ask to be fed again for a while.
Yeah.
And if they haven't been fed for a while, they'll want to be fed. And if you don't feed them, then they can get in a bad mood. Which is this is very much the same sort of thing. If you're not looking after it, it'll go... it will get depressed.
And the Robo Baby, interestingly, they don't have off switches, do they? They don't have any switches at all.
And the first Furbies didn't either. Yeah,
so you put the batteries in and power up, but then they go into low power state when they're not being used.
Yes, and they were both by Tiger Electronics as well.
Right. So when they're in this very, very low power state, they're still on because there's no on-off switch. They remember everything that's happened to them. It's stored. Yeah. Fascinating.
And toy companies have stopped doing that.
Maybe they think it's something that's seen its day amongst consumers. I like it though.
I don't know about that. I mean, kids that are around now, it's not like, oh, those kids have already had Robo Baby that could remember if it being fed, because this is like 23 years old.
Yeah.
I think it's more that maybe they found it wasn't appreciated as much as they wanted, and so it's not worth doing.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there.
Because I think it's something that appeals more to an adult than a child.
I think to appreciate it, you've actually got to study these biorhythms and pay attention to your toy over several days and several weeks.
And a lot of kids have not got that attention span, I suppose.
I think so, yeah. Maybe that's it. It's down to attention span, yeah.
These remind me a little bit of I can't remember what you call them, but those dolls where teenagers get them at like high school, and it simulates sort of having a young baby.
Yeah, so
you've got to care for it.
That's right. So it's training you how to.
I think it's called something like "Think It Over, Baby" or something like that.
It's training you how to be a carer for a baby.
Well, I think also in the case of that, it's sort of bringing it home that
there's a lot to having a child.
Yes.
So don't think twice before you have one.
But these are a little bit like that, in that you've got to care for them, or they're going to cry all the time.
Yeah.
So I still haven't got either of these Robo Babies past the second stage yet. When they're in the third stage, they sing "Row, row, row your boat" and "Rockabye Baby."
Maybe you should leave them out for a while, and we'll both be good parents to them. See if we can get them through.
Yeah, and I've not tried them out yet, seeing if they have a race, how they do against one another. I think I'll do that in the next video. Right. So I'll try and get them up to that third stage.
Okay. Is that level 3 on the chart then?
No, the biorhythm's something completely different to the stages of development.
Okay.
There's 3 stages of development. Yeah. 1, 2 and 3.
Oh, that's when they make a little beep sound and they
make
go into
a
the
beep
next
when
stage.
they go into the next stage. And they'll do new things.
Is that purely timed then? It's like...
No, it does say that how you care for Robo Baby will...
depends on your input to the baby then.
Will determine how quickly...
I understand, yeah.
The baby matures.
So...
But these biorhythms...
Those are superimposed over the stages, are they, the biorhythms?
Yeah, those are basically its mood.
Right.
If it's unhappy, if it's going to be more unhappy, or if it's going to be happier, and that's depending on.
Does it cycle through those biorhythms then?
I think that it purely is based on how you're interacting with it. So if it starts off at the first stage being very, very positive, it'll probably take more to make it unhappy, if you see what I mean.
I see, right. So it's building up a sort of a quotient of happiness.
I
see.
Yeah. Which reminds me of the Pleos. The Pleo RB.
Yeah.
Because the Pleo RB could get depressed. You had to treat it properly. But the Pleo RB, I found it a bit much, because when it was in standby, it would still remember if it hadn't been fed, because it had a time clock in it. So if you hadn't had it powered up for a long time, you switch it on, and all it would want to do for a full cycle was eat. Yeah, and it was really depressed. So it wasn't a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So folks, that about wraps it up for this video. Just one last thing. I've named the new edition now.
Oh yeah, what have you called it then?
I've decided to call it Ruby.
Ruby, nice.
I thought that was nice because it's like Ruby Robo Baby, so you've got 2 R's there. But also because it's got this sort of ruby colour on the shoulder.
It's like a gemstone elbow joint, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or shoulder joint.
So that's why she's called Ruby. So folks, that wraps it up for this video. I hope you found that entertaining and interesting to some degree. Thanks for watching as always, and hope to see you next time.